Yeah, I think that the idea that there are, federal legislators that are aware of these issues and are pushing for them and are bringing them to, the level of awareness of the rest of Congress, to the White House, to, Americans, I think that's really exciting and very, puts a positive spin on things that like we're starting to talk about these issues because you have to talk about them to be aware of them in order to make those changes happen. I think in terms of the future outlook, we've got a bit of an uphill battle with the state of the administration and the state of Congress. We just saw the USDA repeal, extensive funding for like local and farm to school procurement for school food. So we're dealing with a lot of cuts, and I think that food service directors are having to really, go back and look at how can we continue to try to serve healthy meals to students with these cuts to funding. But I also think that there are definitely like positive things on the horizon. One of the primary bills that I'm really responsible for leading the work on at Friends of the Earth is the Healthy Future Students and Earth Act, which will be reintroduced in the summer. And it would be a federal bill that would create a $10 million grant program where school districts could voluntarily apply for the grant and receive funding to help support them in offering more plant-based options. So I think that's a big piece of the puzzle is that, with the National School Lunch Program, these food service directors are really limited both by the regulations that are very strictly controlling the types of foods that can be offered, the quantities of those types of food, but also by the amount of money that they're having to work with. I think that they receive like $3 or $4 from the federal government for each meal. And so, how do you serve healthy, local, organic, plant-based foods when you're working with such a small budget? And so, we really provide technical assistance on the ground to help them figure out how to work within those regulations to actually offer these options. So, I think on the horizon, if that bill passes, that would be an incredible step to the federal government really like pledging to work more on these plant-based initiatives. And I think that we take the approach of like supporting schools that are looking to offer these options, supporting schools that, have these student bases that are asking for more of these options is kind of the best way to go about it. Again, with the state of funding, with all of these looming cuts, with reconciliation, it's yet to be seen how that will play out. But I think that there are promising, things to look at, especially in regards to what you just mentioned. With we're talking about the issues, we're aware, becoming more aware of the link between climate and food and government procurement and how that plays a role in the federal government's climate footprint, right? I think we're starting to address, as we've talked about, like the equity issue of, a large portion of the students that are relying on free and reduced school meals are also the students that are more likely to be lactose intolerant.